family. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope that you enjoy your 3-day weekend because, of course, it's going to be Labor Day tomorrow. So hopefully everybody gets to enjoy time with their family, some time off, So nevertheless, no, I haven't uploaded in a couple of days. I've been spending time with family and stuff of that nature. I got a real social life other than social media. So I'm not one of those content creators where I got to upload something every day, 3-4 times a day, because I do have a real social life outside of social media. So nevertheless, y'all, I want to talk to y'all about this particular situation. A couple of bloggers have already addressed this, and I definitely want to give my own intake, share my own perspective in regards to the situation with T.I.'s rapper T.I., Atlanta rapper T.I., and one of Escape singers, Tiny, their son King. If anybody's been noticing, maybe you haven't been, T.I.'s son King has been unfortunately drawing a lot of negative energy to himself these last couple of months. He's had a couple of run-ins, with people in the street targeting him. He's just been going viral over a lot of negative things that he's been bringing upon himself. He already had 2 altercations in which he was jumped twice. He already had threatened to pull up on his ops and stating that they don't want no smoke. The biggest, one of the most obvious situations was when he had that altercation at Waffle House. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right here, and I am going to play the incident in which T.I.'s son King becomes very disrespectful towards the Waffle House staff and the cook. And I'm going to let you listen for yourself as to how he basically displays blatant disrespect to the Waffle House employees. Not only that, his father furthermore decided to go viral and justify his son's actions, and the excuse he used to condone it really made people look at T.I. with the side eye like, really? So you don't think you got to respect janitors, cooks, waitresses? Why? Because you're a millionaire? Wow. But evidently it's going to come back to bite him.
So what I'm saying is,
they wasn't. You're going to see exactly
hey, I can talk how I want to, wherever I want.
Snippet.
I'm on live, Shawty. Stop talking to me.
And then I'm going to continue with my commentary.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it, and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show you. Come back. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. Now I do. Come here. I'll what I do. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. We out here. We out here. I'm outside. Okay. I'm outside. Come on, shake some. Come on, shake some.
They gonna get dropped while he plays.
Come on, shake some. Hey, get your employees. Get your employees. Yeah, fucking something in this. Tell your mama Happy Mother. And you still talking inside though. You still talking inside though. Why you inside? Can't stop me from doing. Let me get my food. Thank you. I'm just talking like they like that. They ain't like that. Before I get back here. Wait till I get back and see him. Wait till I slap a. Alright, yeah. Yeah, wait. Wait till I come back in the market late night. And then it's just you and I you up. Yeah. You trying to act all tough. All like this in front of all your people. Tell your mama I said Happy Mother's Day. And then Karen in my face. Like what? Why the with this money? Hey, cuz. Hey, cuz. I don't know who the got his up. Swear to God, I was arguing with you the whole time.
But it's confusing, right? It's confusing because, you know, I got a son, you know, and, you know, a few people picked it up. A few people talked about it. A few people, you know, congratulated us. And I appreciate that. I really do. I value that. No matter how major or minute, I appreciate any consideration and appreciation given to my family. Any celebratory comments. I appreciate all of it, right? But it seems as though the news of that was halted because it was in competition with some kind of minor ass remedial petty skirmish that happened at Waffle House. Now, hey, listen, bruh, anybody in here who's my age or even close to my age, you done been young before. You know what I mean? Come on, bruh. You know how that's gonna go. You know it's gonna be a lot more times where you do the wrong thing before you learn exactly how to do the right thing. Everybody already know that. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting my children not to. I am expecting them not to do it on camera as much, but, you know, that's just the world we living in right now. You dig? So I got to wrap my mind around that. I have to make those necessary adjustments as a parent. And you know what I'm saying, man? Of course I spoke to my son. You know, me and his uncles. You know, we were perplexed by his necessity to go back and forth with the short order cook. I didn't understand why he felt he needed to stop what he was doing to engage someone who was at such another level of life. You dig? I didn't understand that. And I had to explain to him that, you know, when people are not living the way they hope they would live, and here you is walking in with so much freedom and luxury, and you know, people gonna posture themselves a certain way. So therefore, you're gonna have to enjoy your life. You're gonna have to remove yourself from that energy and go enjoy your life. Because they not happy with themselves. No way they could be happy with you. You dig? Of course I understand that. He don't understand it yet. He still got a lot of testosterone he working through. But the point is, regardless of that situation, man, is very remedial when it comes to the real meat and potatoes of the discussion. Okay? Why in the hell is it more newsworthy to report that this man got into an argument with a short order cook, and less important to speak about the fact that he graduated with honors on the A&B honor roll? Why is this? I don't understand what world we're living in. Well, this is what we rather promote. Because whether you know it or not only are you promoting it, you're not just kind of like putting it out there for my son and like, you know, showing his failures or showing his shortcomings. You're also promoting it to your children and other people's children. Why wouldn't you want to say, hey, look, this is the guy who you saw from, or you know from this person, or that you know from these things, and look at what he has been able to do. Even though we saw him in this light, and now here he is in this light. Why would you not want that for your nephews, for your little brothers, for your little cousins, for your sons, for your daughters? Like, why would you not want that for the rest of society to exemplify what could happen if you put your mind to your education, no matter what your extracurricular activities or what your, you know, your pastimes are, bro, why wouldn't you want that to be an example? And I know everybody out there, man. I know everybody got the answers. I know all y'all got the answers. I know everybody out here got the answers, especially if you with no children. I know all of you got the answers. I know everybody who ain't never did. Show everybody. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Most of you, you know what I'm saying, and rather, instead of getting up off, getting out there and actually going to do something and taking a chance of actually becoming a failure even more, you would rather sit there and become the failure that you already are and not have to hold yourself accountable. I get that. But let me just offer you a little perspective. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. We always gonna be all right because I'm here. And if nothing else, we gonna have an example. We gonna have options. Okay? So I'm just speaking to you grown people. Speaking to you grown people because it's grown. For one, it was a grown person behind that damn counter inviting my son outside to fight. Man, hey man, it happens. Okay, cool. And I'm glad that it ended the way it did, you know what I'm saying? Because I just want to remind that there are, you know, adults in his family, cousins, uncles, a father, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, that it wouldn't have stopped there. So I'm glad that it ended where it did. I'm glad that it did. But at the same time, I also explained to him, you get out there and you get yourself in grown man business and something to go away that you ain't want it to go. Man, shit, you gonna learn what real adversity is. But that's something that you have to learn with growth. The evolution of a man is constant. All right? I just want to know why in the hell. I just want to know why in the hell is it more newsworthy or noteworthy to report that than report the fact that the man graduated with honors. That's all. That's it. Now, and short order cooks are, I'm not saying the short order cooks aren't important. I'm not saying that. But ain't nothing for me to be arguing with a short order cook about but an order. And after the order, I'm gone. Ain't nothing else to be arguing about. Ain't nothing else for us to be going back and forth about. They have a job to do. And I have a life to live. And ain't nothing else to be going back and forth about. They could be a cashier at a register. Ain't nothing else for us to be going back and forth about. Nothing. There's nothing for us to be going back and forth about. They trying to work themselves to a place, and I support that. But ain't no way for me to engage too much with them. Ain't no way for me to do that. Ain't no way for me to do that. Now, I'm gonna celebrate my son for the things he do right, and I'm going to correct him when he does wrong. But I'm talking about you adults. I'm talking about you adults. As a parent, that's my job. I'm committed to it. Ain't no way for me to. I can't clock out of it. But for you adults, what the hell is you? Why is it so engaging for you? Why are you so enthralled by this? Why? There's something wrong with you. There's some shit up with you. You know what I mean? Children gonna be children. Kids will be kids, man. You know what I'm saying? I expect that from them. I expect that from them. I expect them to f up. I expect them to do the wrong thing from time to time. I expect that. As I did, as you've done. But what about y'all though, bro? Like, why y'all doing that? Ask yourself. What the f is so bad about your life that caused you to do that? Alright? Well, that's the only piece of perspective I have for today, man. That's all I have to say. I just wanted, and hey, man, if you feel like, if y'all put me up on game, if that's just the way it is, and, you know, the world just ain't shit, and I shouldn't, you know what I mean? Cool. But get what? If the world ain't shit, it'll never be if I don't point it out. First step to solving a problem is realizing that there is a problem. So, as long as we continue to report the bad, we're going to continue to get the bad. Now, I'll let y'all go ahead and enjoy y'all day, man. I hope y'all weekend is phenomenal as you deserve. And I'm going to continue to live my rich ass life. Goodbye.
Now, this recent reply from T.I. is in regards to a recent situation in which King was recently arrested. Basically, it looks like the 18-year-old was arrested, though it is unclear why. Tip has now responded following his son's incident. Got a smart request, and I'm not going to repeat everything he's already said, but of course, he went on to say King's a good kid. He's chasing after the wrong stuff, and I trust in God to deal with it the way he sees fit. In another video from King, it looks like a girl who was with him in the vehicle received a violation for not using a seatbelt, and King said he got 4. In a separate video, King seemingly addressed the situation, saying everybody's that's saying nigga trying to be gangster, I ain't asked for the police to pull me over, y'all bitch ass niggas. Furthermore, the arrest follows again recent altercation with the Waffle House employee back in late May, where he reportedly argued with an employee after they allegedly messed up his order, including pickles in his food. So anyway, basically King has not learned from the first incident. He has not learned from several incidents in run-ins he has had with people in the street targeting him. Now police, are also targeting him as well. He's just continuously been pushing his luck these last couple of months, and he's an accident waiting to happen. But what I really wanted to talk about was basically T.I. creating this monster. Because that's just the God's honest truth. We're not going to beat around the bush. And you know what? It's surprising. I cannot stand how a lot of you want to defend celebrities. As if celebrities don't do dumb shit. You want to defend these celebrities. And the main thing y'all like to say, especially black folks, well, he's a millionaire. You just mad because he got millions, and why is you opinionating why you in these celebrity folks' business? Again, when you put stuff out there publicly, or you get exploited publicly, it gives the public the right to speak an opinion, whether if they make money, don't make money, or whatever the case is. This has nothing to do with money, but it has everything to do with the fact that T.I. as a grown man, a successful grown man at that, and including the mother, because I cannot just put all of this on T.I., Tiny Tamika Harris as well. Both of y'all have created a monster here. Y'all have straight up created a monster. Like I said, there's been too many incidences, and it's only a matter of time. Again, he had already threatened on social media, and that's how a lot of these rappers get killed. That's how a lot of them have met their demise, telling these so-called other wannabe gangsters, pull up, I'm with the smoke, pull up. And of course, a lot of these dudes, they cannot wait to pull up and bring some smoke, because what T.I.'s son is not understanding is a lot of these nobodies, these unknowns, if it takes them murdering or killing somebody to be known, I mean, basically what I'm saying is the unknown don't mind killing the known or targeting the known so they can become even more well known. In other words, King is not understanding. He is T.I.'s son. So that alone is already target enough for them to come after him. Okay? No different than, the demise these other rappers had to meet just being who they were. We saw what happened to Young Dolph. We saw what happened, to Nipsey Hussle. A lot of these successful black men who have reached a milestone in which a lot of other non-successful black males have not been able to reach. They can't wait for the moment to seize the opportunity to catch these guys slipping, to catch these guys not paying attention, catch these guys getting comfortable, strolling through the hood. The same thing happened with another rapper recently. I forgot the young man's name, but I did do content on him as well. Yeah, okay, I remember his name. It was Jay the Youngin. A lot of these young successful men have been targeted just being successful. And King is not understanding how detrimental um, his safety is by targeting um, people on social media with these threats. Targeting these guys, targeting these young dudes that are already angry, looking for a come up. And the sad part is it's about street cred at this point in time. You have a lot of young men, they don't mind, especially the ones that are already troubled and really don't have nothing going for themselves. They don't mind taking somebody's like T.I.'s son King out just to get a name off of being known for, yeah, I'm the one who smoked King, I don't say this with joy. I hope nothing does not happen to King, and I pray for his parents' safety, and for his parents' well-being, that their son is safe. But let's just be honest, we got to call a spade a spade. This young man is putting himself in a worse and worse predicament. He's putting a nail in his own coffin just based off his actions. So basically, I want to talk about T.I. The fact that he's been contradicting himself um, through these responses he has made on social media. Now, following with the first incident, with the Waffle House incident. Okay. One thing about Ti is a very wise, intelligent guy. He's not slow from a long shot. He has a lot of street knowledge. Again, he's very successful. He's very family oriented. I can tell he's a man who really takes pride in having a family. He loves his children, and he's worked very hard for them to have the lifestyle that they have. But on the other hand, just being a fan of his show, T.I. and the Family Hustle and all this and that, we've also, anybody who's been following the show or been viewers of the show, we also know that T.I. can be very manipulative and he can be very conniving. Most intelligent people are. They think because they're so book smart and they can use these big dictionary words, that people can't read in between the bullshit. I can't, repeat all of the echelon, vocabulary words that T.I. uses, but I know buffoonery when I hear it. And one thing about T.I., he is the king of contradiction. I've seen him, manipulate his wife when he got caught smacking on another female's ass, in the VIP room, and he's a very smooth. His words are very smooth and slick as WD-40, and you have to be wise to be able to read in between the lines. So, basically, T.I.'s first response with the Waffle House incident, first he starts off, with some good points. He basically says, when kids are young, they say things, they do stupid stuff, which I agree with that. Nobody's perfect. We can't sit up here and be so righteous like we've never done something dumb when we were young and our kids have never done anything dumb. So I flowed with him on that. But, of course, being the king of contradiction that he is, he further starts to imply this when he starts derailing a little bit. His narratives starts slowly going off the track. He implies, and but so many words, if King is going to disrespect somebody, to not do it on camera. So basically, as a father, you're not telling King that it's unacceptable to disrespect people, period. But it just makes it look bad when you do it on camera. Camera or not, you should not be encouraging King to disrespect people. Okay, to challenge people. Now, it's one thing if people are disrespecting him, coming at him, targeting him, and he's being mannerable, he's being respectable, then that's different. But to just beat a straight dick just because you can over omelet, because pickles was on it or whatever the case was, that was totally out of pocket. But again, his father did not address that. He basically insinuated, don't disrespect, especially on camera. He didn't say don't disrespect at all. He just said don't do it on camera, because T.I. is smart enough to know that if his kids do something dumb on camera, the media is going to get a hold of it. They're going to exploit it and make it look for bad. So he was not concerned that King was in the wrong for disrespecting. He's more concerned that King did it on camera. He further implies his son shouldn't be going back and forth with a short order cook. Now, this is where he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. When this video with the Waffle House incident with King came out, a lot of people came up under the comment section and stated, how dare you make it seem as if King can disrespect people that work regular jobs just because he's your son. He basically stated, if y'all listen to him clearly, if y'all have heard him clearly, he basically was stating that, hey, you got to realize, because you are, this is not exactly what he said, but this is what he's implying. Listen, you got to realize you're a rich kid. You are blessed to come from, to be born into a family in which your mother and your father are financially well established. So it's going to be people that's going to hate on you for that, because they don't have the advantages you have. So why are you wasting your time arguing with people that got regular jobs when you are the son of a millionaire? So it would have been different if he would have worded it in a more from a non-arrogant ass perspective. If he would have just said, look, son, you got to realize, because of who you are, and the fact that you are my son and you're, your mom's son, you have to realize you can't be putting yourself in situations where you're arguing and you're going back and forth with people, because regardless of people's titles, even if they're working at Waffle House, even if they're a clerk behind a register at Circle K, getting you doing a transaction for a Slurpee, you still cannot challenge people all kind of way. Don't underestimate people. You don't know who you challenging. You got people that don't care if you're my son. They don't care if you're tiny son. You got people that's going to call your bluff. They're going to check you. And you don't get to decide on which level they check you. They may check you with a gun. They may check you by physically assaulting you. So, son, don't make yourself believe that because you are famous due to your parents that you are exempt from people challenging you. You are exempt from people harming you. So be careful who you challenge, because we can't be with you 24/7. Evidently, security guards are not going to always be with you 24/7. So you got to be careful, son. Don't go around here thinking you're invincible or you exempt because you're our son. A bullet don't have no name. A bullet don't care if you celebrity status or not. You know what I mean? So be careful how you conduct yourself in these streets, young man. That should have been what he should have told him. But no, he gave his son this sense of superiority, and it's giving him mixed signals, because it's like, instead of his son looking at it like, okay, yeah, I am the son, I am born into a rich family in which I do have to be careful how I challenge people, because of the fact that there may be some people out here that may be envious of me because of the type of family I come from. But regardless of what, I got to treat these people with respect, because I don't want them challenging me just off the strength of that. No, instead, the message that T.I. gave him made him feel like, no, they just hating on me. They just jealous of me. So I got every right to talk down. I got every right to go at somebody who challenges me because they hating on me because I'm king. I'm T.I.'s son. I'm Tiny's son. So I got these low common denominator work regular jobs people hating on me. I could talk to them like they garbage and this, that, and the third. You know, so he definitely gave him the wrong message when he put that narrative out there about calling the man a short order cook. That was very disrespectful because, contrary to what a lot of people want to believe, T.I. was not always rich and famous. Okay, I'm sure at some point in time he struggled getting his music out there. He struggled selling mixtapes out the trunk of his car, whatever he had to do before he got to where he is. So how dare he insult somebody who's trying to pay their bills, who's working an honest job, not out here selling drugs, which T.I., we sure you were doing that. Okay? You probably didn't even work a regular job. I'm sure you was up here probably selling drugs or whatever to get your music off the ground. You know, kudos to you. You was one of the few that made it out the hood. Okay? Not everybody is blessed with the same opportunities that you've been fortunate to have. But it's going to come back and cost you, and it's going to cost you through your son. Now, this new incident in which his son gets arrested. Now that has gone viral. Okay. Um, it's unclear what he got arrested for. They pretty much keeping that on the DL. They haven't put that out there. I guess when you got that rich folk money, certain things you can conceal or whatever the case is, or you can pay. I don't know. I'm not sure what strings they have to pull in order to for certain things not to be exploited with them doing an arrest. But nevertheless, um, King strikes again. Now T.I. is singing a different tune. He's singing a different song now. Now his narratives have changed since the Waffle House incident. But hopefully it's not too late. But I'm going to pause this commentary again because now I want you to hear T.I.'s new narrative since his son's king arrest. And then we'll continue with the commentary.
Got a minor request. Hope everybody having a phenomenal morning. Got a small request, man. Stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas? His ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out. Yeah. So I already had that conversation with him, man. King's a good kid, chasing after the wrong shit. And, you know, I trust in God to deal with it the way that he see fit. You know what I mean? It ain't really shit else out. You know, he done got all the whoopings, he done got the punishment, he done did it, he done, did everything as a child you could do to him. So now he gonna have to go through it. He gonna have to go through it and get through it. And ain't nothing me, his mama, or nobody else gonna be able to say about it, man. But I'ma love him all the way through whatever it is he going through. You know what I mean? He gonna learn his lessons. Life gonna you know what I mean? Life is gonna teach him all the lessons that he need to know. And that's the most that we could do. That's the best we can ask for. You know what I mean? I know who he is at his core. You know what I'm saying? This shit that he trying to convince himself of things, as we all do as young men and even young women growing up, try to convince ourselves that we are certain things. And in that journey, we find out exactly who the we really is. You know what I'm saying? And it happens when we least expect it, and our lessons come from where we didn't know they were coming from. And it just ain't just to do. Time.
It sounds like at this point T.I. has accepted the realization that he has created a monster that he can no longer tame at this point in time. Anybody who's a parent, we've all have been there. I sympathize with T.I. on certain things, but within that same aspect, I don't empathize with him, and I'm going to explain to you why. I empathize as far as a parent. I've been there, all of us. There's no manual that comes with being a perfect parent. I've experienced a point in time in which my daughter had really reached a phase of her life in which she was rebelling. She was going through puberty, peer pressure, and all of us have been teenagers, and it was a very challenging season for us during that time because she was rebelling, thinking she knew it all, being hard-headed, not listening, being raised in a two-parent household. That's why I said there's this myth that as long as a child has both parents, that they have better chances of coming out. I mean, statistic-wise, compared to single-parent households, to a degree, yes. But this doesn't apply for every household. Me and my husband was raising my daughter together from the day she was born. And we still had challenges. We still had to go through what any other parent would go through. So it doesn't matter if you're a single parent or you have a two-parent household, children can still become astray on you and rebel. It happens. So I understand doing everything you can to try to correct them, to make them understand the error in their ways, because you don't want your child getting themselves involved in situations in which can cost them their life, cost them their freedom, so I empathize with him in that aspect. However, T.I. was the same father who felt King's actions was justifiable at Waffle House, disrespecting someone simply because they're a cook, simply because they grill omelets, and feeling as if because you're rich, you can look down on folks who have to work average jobs. See, this is what parents don't understand. When you make your kids think it's acceptable to disrespect adults, to disrespect authority, eventually they're not going to respect you. I've seen this 1,000 times in which there's parents that's co-sign on their children's fuckery behavior. And at that point in time, because it's not happening to them as a parent, they see nothing wrong with that child disrespecting the teacher, disrespecting, somebody on their job, like King with the Waffle House situation. You have some parents that will co-sign on their children's, bad behavior when it comes to disrespecting authority, disrespecting officers, disrespecting anybody that has some type of authority or any type of adult, regardless of their profession or not. Now, what parents don't understand, when you justify that with other adults, eventually you're going to become that same adult that they also are going to disrespect. And that is what King... Hello everyone, Southern Chick Creations has the new winter fall season tumbler and zodiac season collection. I've created a new lineup of winter and fall season tumblers. If you are a pumpkin spice latte or cappuccino addict such as myself, these tumblers will be an ideal gesture to keep your beverages hot and keep you cozy and warm as you sip your favorite hot drink through these wonderful tumblers. Although all of these tumblers have their own unique customized images, all tumblers can hold hot beverages up to 6 hours or more as long as it's covered with the lid and lid cap closed. Winter tumblers are also spill leak proof as long as lid is securely on and not placed in unsafe conditions such as an unstable cup holder. Tumblers can also come with whipped toppings if requested by customers. You can enjoy your hot drink in style. I also have the Zodiac Season Collection, whether you are a Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, Aries, Libra, and any other zodiac sign, it doesn't matter, I can personally design. All tumblers can be added with names or special messages upon request. Each tumbler is $22 each. This does not include shipping fees that can vary from $8 to $14. Each customer will be asked to provide area codes so they can be given exact shipping rate estimate before a tumbler is made. No tumblers will be made until a payment is received via Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. Unfortunately, no website is currently available at the moment. All orders must be made via email at cafedparis79@yahoo.com or through Facebook Messenger. All customers will receive tracking numbers for shipments via email or inbox with the receipt once tumbler has been shipped off. Southern Chick Creations. Style with Southern hospitality. And that is what King is doing. King is not listening to his father at this point in time, because this was the same father who also condoned and justified his actions. And what has happened in many cases, parents that do this, when they create a monster, and the monster done got too big for them to tame, now they done given up on the monster. They want nothing to do with the monster. And that's what's happening. T.I. now is seeing that his son is getting off the chain. He's unraveling. He's getting more and more out of the hand. And T.I. knows this very well because, again, he's been that. And he even stated that. He had that energy. And he know what it brought him. He's seeing a recipe for disaster with his son. Because, like I said earlier in the content, just a little bit that we are seeing that we know of, imagine all of what he's doing that the media hasn't reported. Things consistently that his parents know about, that his siblings know about. And what is going on is T.I. sees where his son is heading. And what he's doing is he's bracing himself for the impact. And the bad part about it as a parent, when you get to this point in time, when you realize your child it has gotten way out of hand, there's nothing you can say and do at this point in time, because it comes a point when these children become a certain age, you cannot alter their minds. You cannot change your mindset. It amazes me that my daughter is 21 and she still allows me to have some type of influence over her mindset, because I know some 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds, they parents absolutely can't do anything with them. Can't do nothing. Some of these kids are like a damn freight train. They just going non-stop. They ain't no breaking, ain't no slowing down. You have some children that they parents just know they can't do jack with them. Absolutely nothing. If you are a parent and you still have a child that listens, consider that a blessing. If you got a child that still calls you to get you advice, my daughter, she calls me before she decides to make certain decisions. My daughter is still close to my mom. She calls my mom all the time if she can't call me. These kids are so off the chain, they don't even reach out to their grandparents anymore. They don't reach out to their elderly to try to get advice. During our generation, we would, call our aunts. We couldn't call our moms. We didn't feel comfortable talking to mom or dad. We had aunts, we had uncles, who we could confide in. These kids don't confide in nobody but they got themselves. And that's dangerous, especially when you are still immature, you're rebellious, and you're childish. That's the worst type of mindset to have. And on top of that, you don't want anybody guiding you. So I'm blessed in that sense of my daughter will still call me. She won't just do stuff. And then here it is, I got to bail out or help her figure out how to get out this hole she done got herself in. They can't do nothing with King. They absolutely cannot do nothing with King. T.I. done had 1,000 talks. I'm sure Tiny has talked to King 1,000 times. They cannot do anything with the monster because they done created this monster that they gave a sense of entitlement. Now y'all want him to slow down. Now y'all want him to listen. And he's 18 now. Now, if y'all been watching the show, The Family Hustle, for years, King has always been very grown acting to be a child. He's always been very sarcastic. He's always kind of been smart at the mouth. This was cute and funny when he was on the show. And you have a lot of parents, they think it's cute They think it's funny. When they children talk like adults at 7 or 8 years old, partaking in adult conversation. This is what happens when little things create the bigger monster, letting them sit around adults, letting them have an opinion on everything. Letting them express themselves however they see fit. No type of guidance. You think it's cute. A lot of times you have parents that think it's cute and find it funny when these children are being sarcastic or talking back and indulging in adult conversation, not realizing this is slowly but surely manifesting a child to not stay in a child's place. And that's what's going on. So, T.I. has basically stated he knows where his son is heading. He's done everything he could to talk to him. At this point in time, he realizes King is going to have to learn the hard way. And he has given it to God, basically. And whenever a parent has given a child to God, that just totally means I can't do shit else with them. I can't do nothing. Whenever you got to get to that point, and I've been there, and I'm not knocking T.I.'s parenting skills, I've been there, where I darn near just wanted to walk away from being a parent of my child, because that's just how these kids can take you to that place. Anybody that's a parent can totally understand that. However, there was another case. I was trying to find the video clip. I seen it years ago. I know it's floating around on YouTube, but I can't recall the story. It was so annoying. I was really trying to find it because I wanted to add that clip into this content, but I couldn't find it, so I'm just going to have to explain to y'all. There was a lady at one point in time that was also going through a moment in which her daughter was just off the chain. She couldn't do nothing with her. You know how these young females are, young black female, attitude-ish, rebellious, think they know everything. You can't tell them nothing. She was going through a stage in which her daughter, she just no longer could do anything with her. Pretty much like where T.I. is with King. And what happened was she, at one point in time, put her daughter on punishment or whatever. The daughter snuck out the house to go and meet some man she met offline or whatever. Some man she met out of town, offline, whatever. So she snuck out the house to go meet the man. Met the man. Can't remember exactly what transpired. But what I do recall is that the man ended up killing her. Okay? She met somebody who she didn't really know, a stranger. And she was already, having troubles with just doing what her mother would ask her to do, which is the reason how she ended up in that situation. She was already on punishment. She wasn't supposed to sneak out. She snuck out anyway. And the mother called her to find out where she was, what's going on. And I guess she told her mother what she was doing or where she was going to go. And the mother at that point in time, like T.I. gave up. Like, this bitch just going to do what she want to do. I put on punishment. She going to sneak out the house and go meet this man. Don't even know him. Okay, whatever you do, you do. She ended up getting murdered. Okay? That same night, sneaking out her mama's house. And I'll never forget, her mother came on the news, because the news reporters, of course, was interviewing her, and asked her about the incident that took place, and how she felt about the loss of her daughter. And this, I will honestly say, this was the first time I ever heard a black mother hold this level of accountability. And she said, you know what, I'm not, and but so many words, she was like, you could tell she was devastated at the loss of her daughter, and she was grieving, but at the same time, you could see the peace on her face. You could see the peace in her face, because she basically said, you know what, I know a lot of y'all gonna think I'm crazy for saying this. A lot of y'all may judge me or may look at me with the side eye, but I've been had given my daughter to God, because I knew it was just a matter of time he was going to take her. I saw it with everything she was doing, her actions, the hard-headedness, the rebelliousness. I knew eventually it was going to come to this. She said, I even told her, if you don't get a grip on your ways, if you don't change your ways, you're going to end up having to answer to God. God is going to deal with you if you don't get it right. If you don't start obeying and listening to me and respecting what I say to you as a parent, God is eventually going to take you. He's going to deal with you in his own timing. And guess what? When that time comes, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about it. And she says, sure enough, God is dealing with her. God took her because he got tired of her rebelling and not listening to me. So she said, guess what? I'm going to go to bed peacefully at night, knowing I've done everything that I could possibly do because I warned my daughter. I told her. So it's not that I'm in denial about my daughter's death. I don't care that my child is gone, but I told her because I saw the things she was doing. I saw the path she was traveling. I knew God was going to end up stopping her in her tracks. And he did. I been gave my child to God way before he even decided to take her. This was his will. This was his way. So guess what? I'm going to respect it. And again, she kept emphasizing, I'm not crazy, but I get what she's saying from a spiritual perspective. Anybody from a carnal mind that, oh, is she wrong to feel that way about her child? How can she be so calm? How can she just sit up there and say she didn't give her child to God? No, this was a praying mother who knew God was preparing her and letting her know and letting her, giving her that intuition that eventually she was not going to be here long because of the things she was doing. And when it came to into fruition, that's why this lady didn't jump off the bridge. She didn't want, wasn't one of mothers, oh my God, my child is gone. They took my child. You know, it's parents in many cases who grieve the hardest that been in the most denial. This woman was cool, calm, and collective to the best of her degree, even in her grieving, because she was not in denial about her child's troublesome ways. You have a lot of these parents, they be in denial. No little JoJo in the game. No little JoJo packing. No little Kiki, going around here getting in social media wars. Uh, pulling up on people and jumping them and fighting them and stabbing them. And these are the parents that want to roll over like Rover and jump off the bridge and falling over the casket at the funeral because they can't understand why their child, knowing their son, knowing their daughter has been troubled for many, many years. They themselves couldn't do nothing with them. I never could understand parents who can't do shit with their own kids want to be shocked and stunned at where they end up. If they end up dead, end up in prison. They don't get it. They can't fathom it. There's a woman that I know of. Her son just got murdered, and to this day, it's been going on like 3 weeks. They haven't found a suspect yet, and she, like most parents, have a right to grieve, but she act like she didn't understand that her son had it coming. I go look up the young man's Facebook page. I see he throwing up gang signs. I see he got a Glock in his pocket on Instagram. I'm like, shit, Ray Charles could see where your son was heading, ma'am. And guess what? She was the main one on Facebook venting about the loss of her grandson. As if she didn't know he didn't have that coming. He was in the gang. A lot of these parents, they know their kids in the gang. You know when your son toting a Glock, getting all kind of tats. You know where he heading. You see the kind of niggas that's coming to your house to hang out with your son. You know your son in the gang. Hell, a lot of these daughters, these females, they're in gangs too. You see it, but you're in denial. You turn a blind eye because now it means as a parent, you got to step your game up and do more, if not do better. And that takes you out of your element. A lot of these parents have become so lazy. Once their child starts reaching a new level in which they can't bring them down, they just leave them on their own. and let the streets deal with them. Let the prison system deal with them. Let the gangs deal with them. But that's what's going on with T.I. He done as strong and all these high tech vocabulary words, as masculine as he appears to be. This is one area in his life in which T.I. has accepted he's not going to win. He's not going to defeat his son's rebelliousness. Y'all got this young man up here thinking he entitled, he this privileged rich kid. Now y'all want him to humble himself and make him realize that he's not invincible from prison. No, sir. No, ma'am. Tiny T.I. Y'all should have instructed that in him when he first got on that show. When he was a young man, I think it was like probably like 6 or 7. Y'all should have been telling him then. As a parent, when you have more than one child, you could always tell that one cocky ass child that's really going to be the one that's going to be the most challenging. I saw that when he was on the Family Hustle show. King always been a smart ass, always been a smart aleck, always been too grown for his age, but it was it was real cute. It was funny. A lot of people think it's funny when you have young kids that talk like adults, act like adults. But the problem is when it's time for them to be adults, that's when the childishness kicks back in. That's what's going on with King. King is trying to follow his dad's footsteps. He wants to be this well-known rapper. He wants to be big like his dad. And he would never be big like T.I. You have a lot of these celebrity kids that start rebelling and start seeking attention in other ways when they realize they can't really get it through the legacy of following their father's or mother's footsteps. King has been trying to be bigger or just as big as his parents. And again, it's the sense of entitlement. Well, both of my parents are rich and famous, so I should be able to just, get into the music industry and be just as big and famous as them. Yeah, you'll always be famous, but that don't mean you're talented. I don't listen to some of King music. He's not that talented. No disrespect to his parents, but I'm sorry. Talent is not always in the bloodline. He has no talent. He cannot sing like his mother can sing. His father's an awesome lyricist. Lyricist. You know what I'm saying? King ain't got it. He just doesn't have it. It's a lot of children in the industry who just cannot, fulfill those same shoes because, again, sometimes the parent raised the bar very high. Nobody's not really receiving King like that. Not that I know of. I'm not into hip hop, but I don't really hear nobody checking for King like that. And I think even King knows that, and that's the reason why he's ego tripping right now, as they would say, because he feels like he should be just as well known and big as his father, and because nobody's receiving him in the hip hop world, he has to go about it in other ways by acting gangster, acting acting all hardcore, and he's bringing some energy to himself that he's nowhere near ready for. Now, this young man has had several altercations. There's a dark cloud surrounding him at this point. Even his father sees it. You know what I mean? So either King gonna get a grip, or it's gonna take something very tragic to happen for him to realize that being a rich kid does not make you invincible. He done already been physically assaulted twice. And we know how these dudes are. People trying to make a name. They're trying to come up off of somebody who's famous. You got some sicko out there now. They'll get him just because he T.I.'s son. They want to be known as the one who popped him. I got King. I'm the one. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but this is the kind of generation we living with. I don't wish no death or no harm on nobody's child. But these are the times we are up against. These young people now, they are off the chain. They psyche is totally different from what I was were when we came up. But T.I. is saying this because, again, reality has sunk in. He cannot no longer do anything with this boy. This boy is 18 years old. You don't wait till the monster gets so big, now you want to bring the monster down. He's an adult now. So in his mind, I don't have to listen. If his dad them had any type of of um any type of real grounds, they would put his ass out. Let him suffer. Let him be in the streets. Let him stay in one of them damn roach motels so he could snap into reality and realize how good he has it. If I was his father, I would probably rent him a damn hotel somewhere where he ain't hardly got much anything in there but a microwave, a fridge, or whatever. Let him live out there for a month. Don't give him no money to get no Waffle House, no Wendy's, no nothing. Let strip him of his rich kid privileges so he can humble himself. But at this point now, T.I. probably not gonna feel safe doing that because his son got a mark on him now. He done made himself a target. So he probably ain't gonna feel safe throwing him out there now, knowing all the havoc that's surrounding his son. So either way it go, I do agree with T.I. on this. Life is gonna teach him. Now, the bad part is, what is it gonna take for life to teach him? Hopefully not a bullet. Hopefully not prison. Hopefully not getting physically attacked again. A lot of times we don't get to choose what life lessons God is going to assign to us. Sometimes we get the most harsh life lessons. You have some people that didn't even live to tell the story of the life lessons. Hopefully King is not one of those ones that have to learn the hard way. But I won't be surprised if he does end up having to learn the hard way. And even though T.I. is cool, calm, and collective, well, I'm going to let God do what he's going to do. Be careful with that, because when God does what he wants to do, and it could very well be tragic, that same cool, calm, collective energy, I don't know if he's going to have that same energy if something were to happen to his son. I just think he's given up. He done created a monster, like father, like son. And truth be told, T.I. has always been a cocky, egotistical ass dude himself. Disrespected his wife several times, in the public eye. So a lot of times your kids are a replica of you. King is a replica of his father. This cocky, arrogant. Only difference is T.I. is old enough to know the consequences that can come with the cockiness and arrogance, and he's willing to, adhere to it. But his son ain't ready like that. A lot of these kids want to be grown so bad, and then when it's time to be grown, they ain't ready. I remember my daughter, she wanted so badly to move out of our house, get on an apartment, because we was doing too much. We was always in her ass, me and her dad or whatever. And she finally had got home an apartment and saw it wasn't no joke. Every year, every month that rent was due, it seemed like she was paying rent every week. To the point I had to step in sometimes to help out. She, no matter how many hours she worked at her job, seemed like, she barely had enough money left over at the end of the month. It finally got so bad, when she realized, she really couldn't handle it. She had to humble herself. Well, I had to make her humble herself, because my daughter has a lot of pride and she doesn't like to fail. So it took a while for her to get to that point of accepting the fact that she really cannot afford to be out on her own. It was too much. And, she fell through a state of depression, trying to pay the rent, trying to pay the light, trying to pay the water. She fell through a state of depression. I mean, I commend her for being, wanting to be independent, but the fact that she went out there so fast and that she didn't have all the income she needed to be able to do it. And she would call me almost every other month, like her back was up against the wall. She was falling through a state of depression, and I just had to tell her, look here, you could stay there, be miserable, stress every month on how you're going to pay your rent. If you don't hurry up come from up out of there and bring your behind back home, you're in a desperate situation. You're going to end up doing desperate things. Don't let your pride cause you to do something desperate to where, you're so backed up on your rent, you'll do anything to get up that rent money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of young people out there. You'll rob, you'll hoe for it, you'll prostitute for it. I mean, anything just to prove a point that I don't have to come back home and listen to my parents. I told her it's not worth it. You know, if you don't get yourself out that situation, you're gonna end up evicted. All your furniture gonna be, you know what I'm saying, in the, you know, out in the front yard for people to steal your belongings. It's better to go ahead and break the lease. Break the lease, you know. It's gonna go on your credit report, but I'd rather that than for you to get evicted and all your flat screen TVs and shit sitting outside in the yard because the sheriff done had to evict you. You know what I mean? So, but because she was willing to humble herself and listen, she realized I was right, you know, and when she came back home, she felt relieved. She liked the fact that she had to come back home, but she didn't have that pressure on her that she had being on home. So anyway, nevertheless, she enlisted into the army. So she just finished boot camp, and we will be visiting her at the end of the month to watch her ceremony, to watch her march or whatever. So she'll be stationed in Missouri. So nevertheless, you know, she made a good decision. I'm sure everybody's not fans of, you know, the military, but something is better than nothing. I will support a child that wants to do something positive with her life other than going around here having multiple children from different men, whatever. As long as she's doing something positive, of course, I'm support her and back her up. But again, it took me raising her to be humble enough to be willing to take our guidance. She didn't have to make that decision, but it took her listening to us to make that decision. So nevertheless, y'all, T.I. knows he has his work cut out for him, y'all. In the comment below, let me know what y'all think about the situation here. Do you think it's going to take something really tragic for King to get to this point, or where he realized he needs to listen and humble himself, or you think he may be one of those ones, he may snap and may snap and come to his senses, realize all of what's at stake, and he may straighten up. You know, what is your opinion on this? Me personally, I don't think it's going to go too well. Because now King has to prove, he has a score to prove now. He don't put that energy out there that he's this hardcore guy. And I think even if he tries to change himself, it's going to be people that's going to challenge him now, because he don't put that energy out there. And I think it's going to be it's going to be a lot of ignorant, guys that's, already low-key haters or whatever. I think they're going to call us bluff. I think he done brought something upon himself that he's not going to be able to get rid of. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this. Parents, have y'all gone through this? And point in time when your child was rebelling, what did you do to finally get that child to the point to where they was able to straighten up? Or was you a parent that ended up just having to let that child fully go on their own and ended up in prison, ended up getting murdered? I mean, if you don't mind getting too personal, sharing your experiences with children who have not listened to you, where they have ended up, or those who did listen, how did they end up? So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Also, anybody who's interested in purchasing a tumbler, please make sure you email me. Anything else, please, before y'all leave, hit that like button. Also, before y'all go away, don't just cut off the content just yet. I got a special segment coming up called For Laughs, so just stand by for the For Laughs segment. And after that, the content shouldn't be over, but don't just exit the video just yet. I want y'all to stand by for my segment For Laughs, which I'm going to be doing regularly throughout my content, pretty much from here on out, where I add funny segments that I think are comical to me and I want to share with my subscribers. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate it. It's your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth and break you off with a slice of knowledge. And please, again, stand by for my segment For Laughs. Talk to y'all soon. Ladies, subscribe to Mocha's Ladies Lounge. I'm going to be loading some content over there today, talking about Britney Spears. Her sons are also going against her, so I think y'all need to check that out. and let me know what y'all think as well. Y'all be blessed. Take care.